again, everyone. This is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. Hey, how's everybody doing on this bright and beautiful Sunday morning? And I truly hope that this morning is bright and beautiful for you, no matter what the weather. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm speaking with Steve. Steve's on the other end of the phone, and we are going to talk about three very interesting words, and they all rhyme, and the words are tolerate, celebrate, and eliminate. And when I get back, Steve will be on the line. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really do appreciate your time. So today we have Steve with us. Hey Steve, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. Happy Sunday to you.
You as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hope you had a good 4th of July thus far.
I have. Hopefully yours was well.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, thankfully. Okay, we're going to talk today about 3 words that we use pretty darn often in our language. And word number 1 is tolerate, and then celebrate, and then eliminate. I would like to give you my personal opinion of the word tolerate. And actually, it's pretty simplistic. To tolerate something is to basically put up with something. Now, unfortunately, in life, sometimes there are situations that you need to, quote, end of quote, put up with. For example, you can't avoid the dentist forever. I mean, we all have to get to the dentist at some point. Sometimes it's an easy breezy checkup. Oops, no cavities. Bye-bye, see you in 6 months for your cleaning, right? Okay. Then there are times like, oops, it's a cavity or beyond. And unless we take care of that matter and tolerate and endure that process, we will have, major league problems, down the pike if we don't tolerate a little bit of inconvenience. And when we get back in a minute, we're going to hear Steve's take on tolerate. Okay, Steve?
Okay.
Okay, great. Be right back. So, going to get right back into it. I gave you my take on the word tolerate. And now I'm going to turn the phone over to Steve. Hey, Steve, what's your take or definition of the word tolerate?
Well, tolerate is something that we have to listen to or hear that we may not always want to hear, but we have no choice but to be there in that certain moment or given time.
True. Do you have any specific instances where, tolerating something might be more of a challenge than at other times?
Yeah, I've got the perfect story for you that I must share. One thing I never did care for is I don't like a person. Let's say you have a phone call, or let's say you're having a conversation with a person in a room, and you're trying to get a word in edgewise, but they continue to just rant and talk, and they won't even let you get a word in edgewise. They just feel like they're God's gift as far as what they're saying, when what they're saying could be as full as a Christmas goose, if you know that term, which in general, let me just put it this way, fuller than a Christmas goose, meaning they're full of it.
Yes.
So what I have to do in one aspect, I know this person who likes to dominate the conversation, just talk, won't hush. And I have to take my thought, put it on pause, or let it just hang there. It can be 20, it can be 30 minutes before I'm able to reveal what I have to say. Because what I do is I have to wait for about a 5-second pause to where I can slip it in, if I'm lucky. So what it boils down to is I'm not big on people with a type A personality. I don't like to deal with that type of person. And also, they don't realize that they need to stop talking sometimes and let the other person speak, because they may find out a thing or two that they didn't know about.
Wow, very well put. I hate to admit it, there have been situations in my own life when I'm on a certain, let's say certain phone calls, okay? And I really, now this really stinks when I'm the caller because the person listening doesn't understand. I may have called for a specific reason and I don't get to say my reason. Sometimes people call to say hello, true, but sometimes people call because they have a message. But if the person picking up the phone isn't even interested in what you have to say, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. Hold on, has that happened to anybody out there? Please let us know. Comment below if you've ever had to tolerate phone calls where your message, your word, never gets to come across and the other person constantly dominates the conversation. So, Steve, so you would consider this a situation of tolerance, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And assumingly this takes great patience, true?
Yeah, it does take patience. Really, no, you really have to have, patience. I might as well throw in another word. It may or may not fit the scenario. You also have to have, like stamina, or you have to have the vulnerability. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but basically what I'm trying to say is you have to be able to, withstand what's going on.
Right, exactly. So we could say that the word tolerate definitely incorporates patience, endurance, stamina, and withstanding. And when we get back, Steve and I are going to give our take on the word celebrate. Hang on. Thank you so much for sticking around. We really do appreciate your time. Now we're going to go over to the other rhyming word that's of importance in our lives, and it's the word celebrate. Hey, Steve, what's your take on the word celebrate? What do you celebrate, for example?
Oh, let's see. I can think of a few. I like to celebrate myself. I like to celebrate my gift of life. I like to celebrate friends and family. I celebrate holidays.
Right.
Give you an idea.
Right. I really like the first answer that you mentioned. Celebrate yourself. That's very cool. You know what it is? I don't think people really appreciate themselves too much. Tell me, does that sound about right? We're so used to being like everybody's a bad critic of themselves, that's not really a good thing, is it?
No, it isn't.
So like when you say you celebrate yourself, you mean like in terms of, let's say, accomplishments?
That can be part of it. That can be, how good of a person I am, doing right by others.
Wow.
Telling the truth. Do not lie, which
Right.
I'm not for. Hey,
Right.
little things like that to give you an idea.
Wow, that's like very, very huge. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot to give me a cause for a celebration. Many times people wait for the big stuff, the 20th anniversary or whatever. Why not like celebrate, just the little things sometimes? Being able to just, sit down with your friends and have a one-on-one conversation and just enjoy the moment or celebrate there was an old coffee ad back in the day, Steve. You might have been very young when it came out, but this coffee commercial used to say celebrate the moments of your life. And even though it sounds corny, there's nothing corny of it. Actually, we should celebrate the moments of our lives because it's really about appreciation and celebrating, the positive. And I think all of us could stand a break from negativity and learn how to best celebrate. Thanks so much for that answer, Steve.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, when we get back, everyone, we're going to talk about something that, in my opinion, is extremely helpful. And it's the word eliminate. And we'll be right back. Hey, so we're going to go and zoom right back to the, well, next to final word, because I did come up with a bonus word to talk about in conversation. Steve, you still with us?
I'm here.
Okay, great. I want to talk about the word eliminate. Well, what does eliminate mean? Eliminate means to get rid of, right? To end, to finish, done, finito. Okay. There are times in life that we must exercise the word eliminate. There are situations, for example, and this is my opinion, okay? If people are in a toxic relationship with someone, if this person in the relationship, one of them is getting more aggravation than love out of the situation, nothing is written in stone that you have to put up with stuff like that. That is something to strongly consider. And someone smart, a preacher, literally called it the gift of goodbye. Now, this is coming from a preacher, mind you. What that preacher is saying is you don't have to, let's get back to word number one, tolerate. There is nothing to celebrate if somebody is mentally, verbally abusing someone in a situation. Of course, first you try every recourse possible, and if you really love someone, maybe two people could seek out counseling, whatever. I'm not telling everybody to run away from things here, so don't say Jan from New York City advised me. I'm not advising anyone. This is not advisory. This is my opinion of the word eliminate. There are times in life one needs to eliminate situations to avoid. Let's say a person is vulnerable to stress-related illnesses. Well, obviously, the best thing the person must do is reduce their stress level. So what should they do? Go down their laundry list of things that they need to eliminate from doing during the course of an everyday activity. If talking to a certain person aggravates you, limit your exposure. If listening to certain music makes you angry, don't listen to it. Listen, you're not going to be able to fix the world. Don't even think you can. But what you can do is fix the way you react to it. And there are times you have to eliminate, either avoid a person in your life or other such things. You just have to think about getting away from that social toxicity of whatever it is that is bothering you. What says you about elimination in life, Steve? What's your take on it?
Well, one thing that I want to mention about eliminate, this may slightly lean back toward the first word, tolerate. All right, for an example, let's say this has actually happened to me at one point. For example, there's this person that I knew, and he lived, this person lived a very regimented, cookie cutter, fine-tuned way of doing things. We would speak periodically throughout the day, but there was a problem. This person liked to speak to me at a certain time, not 1 minute before, not 1 minute less. It had to be right on that freaking, right on the...
Oh my goodness, that's so stressful.
First off, nobody's life should be regimented. I should not have had to conform to that person because I have a life I have to lead. What if I don't want to talk to you at a certain time slot? I may be doing something else, or I may just be tired. And not only that, this person also didn't really have a one-sided conversation, but the storylines were very dull. Not only dull, a very monotone-sounding voice. And I will tell you this much. I don't like to put up with people that are monotone and approach me with storylines or subjects that I don't like. Because guess what? Steve will eliminate it.
May I never be monotone.
I'm not talking about you.
I know that. I'm laughing, but it's actually not funny. How many of you out there seem to fall into a trap? And it's really a trap, right, Steve?
It is a trap.
Right.
Get out of the trap.
Right.
Get out of the trap. Nobody
Right.
should be tied in.
Right. Fall into this trap. You're not even knowing that this trap is going on, okay? And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and say, wait a minute, I wasted blah, 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 just because someone else is living in this, as you described, situation. So what did you do to fix that? What did you do about it?
What did I do about it? I quit talking to the person.
So in other words, just literally like a cold turkey kind of approach?
For the most part, every
Yeah.
once in a blue moon, this person will verbally come and talk to me somehow, but I tend to keep that person at very arm's length.
You know, that's excellent, Steve, and thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, I want to mention the fourth bonus word. All this goes down to is lack of being considerate, ATE, matching ending. That's something all of us need to do. I don't think I would ever pin someone else down for regimented phone calls, expectation. I'm talking about in a non-business manner, doesn't have to be. That's not fair. It's just a not fair way of thinking. People need to live their lives and live their lives spontaneously at times, flexible at times. We don't have time for this strict regimentation. Well, you know what, Steve? I want to thank you for being here. I also want to tell you congratulations on eliminating something you didn't have to tolerate by giving the gift of goodbye, right?
That is correct.
Because you know what it is, everyone. You have to use the 80% 20 rule, okay? 80% of the time, people might come at you with things you don't need to tolerate, things you really should be celebrating, and things you might have to eliminate. Only you can be the judge of that. I want to thank Steve Young for his phone call. Say thank you, Steve.
My pleasure.
And also to let you know that we'll be back again real soon. I'm going to close this with some music on my gift of goodbye to you. Thanks for coming by today. Have a great day, everybody.